Back in the day, Google used to consist of 10 blue links, and those days were pretty easy to understand where you were ranking and how that ranking could affect the way that you drive traffic organically to your website. Today we're going to talk about MobileMoxie and how it can help you track what you own on the search engine result page and what that can really mean for your business. Now, in full transparency, this video is sponsored by MobileMoxie. You will find a link below to get started with them, but as always, I'm just going to show you how I use the product and tell you my honest opinions as to how it's working. So let's get to it. All right, so we're going to go through the process of setting up all of your brand information in MobileMoxie so that you can actually track every entity that you own in a search engine result page. So I put in my company name, Beast Analytics, and the countries that I operate in, what language I use, and you can do this if you have a lot of locations with a CSV, but I don't have a lot of locations. So I'm going to select next. I don't have a location as far as like an address, a set address that I do business at, so I left that untouched. However, you can add that in so that you can track your local rankings in Google My Business, all that kind of fun stuff. I put in my main domain. I don't have an international domain. I put in my branded Facebook page and LinkedIn page, branded Twitter account, YouTube. If you have multiple YouTube pages, which you can see I have a few on here, I'll get to that in a second as well. And then my Instagram. So I'm going to select next. And now I get to put in all of the keywords that pertain to my business. So the brand keyword is going to be Beast Analytics. I'm also going to add in here Bree E. Anderson, industry keyword. Maybe we'll put digital marketing analyst, digital marketing strategist, service keyword, digital marketing reports. Maybe we'll put like Google Analytics for product. I'll say Google Analytics for support, Google Analytics for setup, and then you can do all this too. So how to set up Google Analytics for. You see that they do have a section for your CEO name, so you could use that if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Here you can put your different pages. So you can put your home page, you can put each of your pages as far as all of these things go. I'm not going to put any of those in there. You see you can add your Google My Business for headquarters, office location, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to put finish brand setup, and automatically it's going to take me into the tool. So if you want to track how much of search engine result page you have control over as far as all of the different features and the different listings, you're going to want to come to this SERP Datalyzer. Once you fill out your brand profile, you are going to be taken to the tools. Now, if you want to track how much of the search engine result page you are owning, what features on the search engine result page you are owning for certain keywords, this is definitely the place you want to be. So you're going to select which keyword you want to do research for, the address you want to do the search from, and what language you want to do the search in. You also can select what kind of device you want to do the search from, so whether you want that to be an iPhone, a computer, or an Android device. And as you scroll down, you're going to get a live version of the search engine result page, and you'll be able to see all the different features that are available. So the first thing we see is a Twitter carousel, then we see my website, a LinkedIn page, YouTube carousel, Facebook page, Facebook profiles, Instagram, IMDb, search engine journal, and a Squarespace site. All of that's available. Now, on the right-hand side, what's really cool is you get this table, and this table will show you all the search engine result features that show up, and it's going to tell you whether or not they're present. So you can see that there are some things in this search engine result that just aren't showing up. Like there's not a Google My Business listing, there's not top stories, there's not a map pack or Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. People also ask, those things just don't show up. That's where we see red X's there. But the things that do show up, like a Twitter carousel, they're going to have a green check next to them. Then we see the actual rank versus the traditional rank. Now, this is something that really sets MobileMoxie apart, I think, is that they want people to understand that there is a difference between ranking first for a query that only has organic website listings at the top and ranking first for something that has 3 paid ads at the top and then a local pack and then the very first listing. So here you'll see that the actual rank of the Twitter carousel is first and that the actual rank for my website is second. However, you can see that the traditional rank is 1. So what that tells me is if I go into Google Search Console or something and I look at where does my website rank for this query, I'm going to see that it ranks first, when in all actuality, there's this huge Twitter carousel that is showing up before my website. And in order to actually see the entire listing of my website, you have to scroll down on the search engine result page, which leads me to the next section, which is pixels from the top. So you can see that the Twitter carousel is only 155 pixels from the top. That's just to make room for the search bar and the Google logo. However, my website listing doesn't start until 537 pixels from the top, which is why some of it gets cut off at the bottom. That's really important to know. Like if there were 2 ads at the top, then the website listing might be 600 or 700 pixels from the top. And that's really going to affect how many clicks that you actually get to your website from showing up for that search query, right? For me, this is always really interesting because it's definitely something we need to be taking into consideration with our keyword research, but that's for another video. There's the Twitter carousel, then the website, and we can see that that's 537 pixels from the top. Now we also get what % of the search engine result page those features take up. So you can see the Twitter carousel takes up 14% of the search engine result page. My website only takes about 10%, and that's because I get these nice little site links. And then we have 8% with the LinkedIn, and we can see that this YouTube carousel actually takes up 13% of the search engine result page. So I'm able to tick these things off as I go down the search engine result page. You can see that all the way on the right hand side, you can see that there is this column that has question marks and it has green check marks. Now the green check marks indicate something that I've already claimed in my brand assets on MobileMoxie, and the question marks are to say either I don't have it or MobileMoxie isn't sure if maybe I do have it. So for this YouTube, for instance, I do own all of the videos in this YouTube carousel. So what I can do is I can click the question mark and it's going to enter the URL, and now I can select what type of social carousel this is. This is a YouTube carousel. I'm going to select submit. And from now on, it's always going to have a green check next to this YouTube carousel because I do own it. Now, this Facebook I don't own, so I'm not going to check that. The Instagram I do own, so you can see a green check mark there. IMDb, I don't own. Next website is Search Engine Journal. Now, this is my author page for Search Engine Journal. So while I don't own that, they're not going to be taken to my website, I'm not going to gather their data, they are still interacting with me as a brand. Personally, I count that as a win, right? That's why we do things like link building, etc. So I'm actually going to claim that, and I'm just going to, you have to pick what kind of social type it is. If you scroll all the way down, you can see custom link. I'm going to select submit, and now anytime my author page shows up in the search engine result page, it is going to claim that. And now as a brand, I'm going to have a much better understanding of how much of the search engine page I actually own and where, what features are showing up, which ones I do own, which ones I don't own. This is also a really good way to do some keyword research and think about like, what do I need to create in order to show up here? So for instance, I'm going to look up Google Analytics 4 setup, right? In theory, this is a keyword that I would like to show up for. If I come to the search engine result page here, I can see that obviously the first thing that shows up is going to be Google. They've got a featured snippet, alas. However, the next thing is a YouTube video. I could very easily create a YouTube video on Google Analytics 4 setup and try and optimize it, right? And we can see that there are even more videos underneath it. So what that's telling me is, as a brand, if I want to show up for this search query, I should really create a video and try to optimize it as best as I can, because videos make up, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9%, if not more, because the videos just keep going, of the search engine result page. And then we also see more stuff from Google, etc. I hope this helped you out. If it did, please leave a comment and remember to subscribe, and don't forget, you're a beast. Also, before we get too far in this video, I want to let you know that using the link below, you can actually try MobileMoxie free 3 times, all of their tools. You can try each of them 3 times every single month by following the link below. Thanks.